They wives
What do
don't
you
keep
mean?
up with their
What
success.
do you mean
They
they
be
don't keep up with
frumpy.
the success?
They be frumpy. They be dusty. They be all of that. All of that. Their wives, in most instances, don't keep up with the greatness that the guy is evolving into.
This is an opinion, but
It is
go
an
ahead. I
opinion.
mean,
Somebody got shot with a suppressor.
that's my. I don't know what that is. That's my speaker, I think.
Look, see, and this is what women do in the chat. He definitely doesn't like what. Now I don't like women. now, now I don't like women.
Daz Cap, I got it. No, he likes women, but I think we somewhere along the line we upset him.
And now I don't like women. So instead of you going back to the front of the congregation and saying, you know what? Let me evaluate whether he's right or not even just automatically assume that I'm right. Not saying, you know what, let me figure out whether this makes sense or not. Not evaluate it. By default, women start calling names, they get angry, they start throwing insults, and that's what they do. It's a lack of accountability, and this is the reason why they don't get the results that they want. This is why most of y'all don't qualify for the person that y'all say y'all want. Now all
Yeah,
of a sudden he don't like women. What's the next insult? We know that. We know what this is. They tell me to give an example. I give an example, and now they mad about it.
yeah, I definitely think that women do way more reflecting than you're giving credit for. And I think that women are way more willing to not only reflect, but change and grow. I'm gonna figure out what that is in a second.
And this isn't even
Change and
applicable to me.
grow.
I'm in a great space, and my chick is phenomenal. This isn't even applicable to me. I'm having a conversation in general. But as usual, they crash out. They crash out. I'm in a phenomenal space. But it doesn't mean that I don't have friends and I'm not paying attention and I don't do coaching sessions. I'm very much aware of what is going on out here.
Yeah, but a lot of it is still your opinion.
It is my opinion.
And I can see where some women might get a little bit triggered because you, like I said, it's coming across like, man, women, y'all, you're with a great man and you suck. Like that's how you're saying it. Y'all don't
Yeah, a
reflect.
lot of
You
them do
can't fill
suck.
all the roles. You're
If you want
you're
me to just be for
inadequate.
real,
You
if you want
well,
me to be for real, a lot of them do suck.
I mean, but I'm maybe, and I'm sure a lot of men suck. But in
Oh, see,
general,
look. Instead of taking accountability, we're not even
no,
talking
it's
about the
it's
man
it's
right now.
not
We
about
talking about
it's
great men, Keri, and you talking about I'm sure a lot of the men. That's not even
no,
what we talking about.
you made this distinction between great man and then he has this whack woman. In my mind, if I'm gonna give a general example involving a great man and he has a woman, I'm gonna in the example use a great woman. So yeah,
So,
there might be
Keri,
women
you
that
have
suck,
never
but
seen
there's
a
women that are
celebrity.
great with their man.
You have never seen. Okay, let's use somebody. Name somebody in the chat. Let's use somebody specifically. Kevin Hart. Could you imagine if he was still with the Tory chick? How much hindrance? How much of a hindrance would this chick probably be to how great he is to become? Yeah, I get it. She was with him early and she probably helped him with this and that and so on and so forth. Loyalty, cool. We can have that conversation. But again, I'm talking about adequate person for the person that is evolving to become this great person.
Anton, that's like a stretch example, but
How?
because first of all, why is the reference point of greatness always celebrities? And then two,
Well, because it's a
again,
visual person
if
that we can reference.
I'm not I don't know what I don't know. For all I know, Tori could have helped get Kevin Hart where he got quicker. I mean, like, I don't know. I get it.
You don't believe
I
that.
I No, it's not about what I believe. What I'm saying is I don't think that the example that you're using is strong enough to make the argument that you're making. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so if Kevin decides he doesn't want to be with her, he wants to be with this girl, fine. I think if Kevin Hart
That's not
stayed
the
with
question that
Tori,
we have. That's not the question, Kerry. The
what?
question is, are the women that are getting with these men that ultimately become the greatest of all time, or if you get with a man that's already great, do women do a self check and say, you know what? I probably shouldn't get with him. He too good for me. I've never heard a woman in life. I hear guys all the time say, oh man, she the top of the top or whatever. They know they not built for that type of chick. I've never heard a woman in my entire life. She could be 300 pounds and she's waiting on her Prince Charming. I've never in my life heard a woman come to the front of the congregation and say, I'm not good enough to be with that guy. I would probably slow him down or ruin his life. It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen.
But does that really matter if he doesn't choose her? Like, Anton, you have to understand, we started this conversation with a man and a woman already together. He chose her. Now we're to, does the woman, I've never heard a woman say, I'm not good enough for him. Really, it doesn't matter because he didn't choose you anyway. So that's a moot point.
Okay,
You,
Keri. All right. But I think that you're proving my point, though.
no,
I think you're proving my point. Women don't go back and do a self check and
that
evaluation
is, no,
of whether
I
or
do not.
not they are meeting the expectations. And in every other facet of life, that is how life is applied. That is what life is.
I'm gonna yield, but I disagree, and you have not proven it.
I think it's a good conversation to have though. I don't think it's a right or wrong. I'm just giving my opinion. We just giving our opinions. I don't think it's a right or wrong, but I just think it's a conversation worth having. Even when I do coaching sessions with women, they describe some of the wildest things and sometimes I have to give them a reality check and say, and so why would he choose you? Or why should he be with you if he chose you? You would ruin his life.
If you surveyed your audience and asked the women how many of them honestly reflect on themselves while in a relationship after getting out of a relationship, would you trust their response?
Say that again.
If you surveyed women and asked them about their reflecting,
Hmm.
would you trust their response?
No, I've
See,
never even
so
met
we
a.
so you wouldn't believe us if
Well, let
we
me tell you
reflected
why. Let
anyway.
me tell you why. Because I've never actually heard a woman admit that it was her fault that she lost her relationship in the first place.
But now you talk about fault. You
I've
keep moving
never
the
heard of.
goalpost.
I've never heard a woman take responsibility in a relationship question. I don't hear women take ownership of the role that they play in the demise or the failure of or anything with regard to a relationship. It's 100% always going to be a man's fault.
I that's
I've
okay.
never
We
heard
have
it
different
before.
well, we have different reference points with that. I would agree that there are some women who don't see it, but I have definitely heard of women who could honestly reflect on their relationship and their
Who?
roles in
Give me an
it.
example.
Well, I don't you don't know the people who I'm talking about. I'm talking
Oh,
about
no,
people
no,
I
no,
know
no,
personally.
no.
Who?
You tell me to give an
So
example
I got to
all the
figure out a
time.
famous person.
Yep.
Okay, let me think.
I give you some time. Slimmy, Slimmy Quinn, y'all got any thoughts on this?
uh, I do think I do think women overvalue themselves in relationships though, and I definitely don't hear them take ownership when things go left. But they definitely overvalue themselves in relationships because most of the time, when you and this is a question that goes around very often when people ask, "What do you bring to the table?" Most women, they don't really give an
They
answer.
say I
Sometimes
am the table. They
I
should
am
say
the
I'm.
table. Yeah,
Yep, yep.
they don't really answer. Every once in a while you'll get that woman who's like, "Well, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this, I'm this." You know what I'm saying? But most of the time, it's that cliche. So women also, I don't think a lot of women are being taught how to be in a relationship, how to be in a marriage. I think we, you know, Men, as men, we are protectors and providers, and I think it's we instinctually figure it out. We instinctually figure that out. Women are not being taught how to be wives anymore. I think that's the issue. They aren't taught how to be, like, you don't necessarily got to be a girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? Your job is to be a good wife, and you move through the steps of life through that. Girlfriend, you really shouldn't even be that because you're not supposed to be dating. You know what I'm saying? You really supposed to really be giving away. You're supposed to display traits of being a good woman, and a man is supposed to pick you. But I think we so far gone from that shit. Like, yeah, we in a bad predicament, man. Because
Yeah.
women overvalue themselves because all because uh mainly because society just pushes sex, and they push women being naked, and if you got a fat behind, or you cute, or you got some big ass titties, then you got value. And that's the misconception. Most women, they can't cook well. You know what I'm saying? They don't know how to clean. They kids running all over the house. They run them. They don't know how to have a conversation. It's a lot of wrongs with some women,
Excuse me.
man. Like, it's a lot of things that they just don't know how to do.
Look
Whereas
at
a
this.
man,
Look. Let me show you something, Slimmy. For example, Katie says, to be fair, she leads with to be fair. If men chose better, this wouldn't be a time. Again, it always comes back down to us every time.
how do you
It's all.
redirect like that though, Katie?
It's always going. We saying why don't women do a self check on a regular basis, on a regular, just normally, and it's saying, oh no. To be fair, if you just chose better, it wouldn't be a topic.
Wait,
What?
so how is it that you can choose better if women aren't being taught certain things? How do you
I
get to
bet I,
choose
I
better?
would bet you that if we could put a clause inside of most of these guys' marriage contracts to where every year and a half to 2 years or every year we had to reevaluate the performances of the people that's in the relationship and then determine whether or not it could be renewed or not, it would be a completely different conversation.
Are you including the men being evaluated
Yes.
by the women as well?
Yep. If there was a clause to where it was this is a year by year renewal, you got some contracts that's inside of sports that's guaranteed, and it's other contracts that's incentive laden.
I think a lot of people will fall short, men and women.
No, we not talking about men right now.
Yeah,
We not talking
yeah.
about men right now,
We're
Carrie.
talking
We talking
about
about
both
women.
people. No, we're talking about both.
We talking about women right now, Carrie.
Why can't we talk about both?
Okay, Carrie.
We can't talk about both. We can't put everybody
Sure,
together.
sure.
So okay. So do you think that a lot of the men will fall short too?
No, no, I
Well, I
don't.
tell you,
No, I don't.
No, but
I
you
because
do
don't.
your
Carrie,
self reflection like check, check,
Because
check,
women do
check.
that anyway when they file for divorce the majority of the time. They already doing a self check of him. They don't do a self check of themselves. They file for divorce because they say that I don't want to be here any longer and I can do better by myself. And so they've already determined that they wanted to terminate the contract. That's why the
it's
majority
really
of divorces is filed by women. They
it
do it
really should be a
anyway.
real thing. That should be a real thing. That
They
evaluation should
do
be a
it
real thing.
anyway.
Listen, cool. Just as long as it's on both sides.
Hell yeah, it gotta be
Evaluations
on
for
both
all.
sides. Yeah, it gotta be on both sides. Cause you gotta divvy up the money and the resources.
Nope, I think that the contract should be evaluated year by year, incentive laden, and you don't get the bonus if you don't meet the expectations.
On both sides.
I agree.
I'm not even answering you right now.
Well, we know Kerry trying to lean one way, but
No, I'm not. I think I'm being way more impartial than Anton. I think I'm being more objective. I think that he is totally partial towards men in this example. Yeah.
Really, Carrie?
Yes.
Oh my
Yes.
God. I can't believe it.
Yes.
Wow.
Mm, mm, mm.
Women do way more reflecting than you guys realize.
Oh yeah, tell me about it.
And
How does that
and
go?
we want y'all to talk to us and communicate what you're needing and what's missing. We want you to do that.
So
That's
you
another
don't. So
component you
y'all
didn't
so
tap on.
smart. Y'all so smart all the time, but y'all don't know. Y'all don't know what we missing.
Nope, because I learned. See, at first, I thought that was a reflection of you knowing your person or whatever. But I've come to believe over the years, I've come to believe that everybody's responsible for communicating what their needs are. Especially using your example, Anton, things change. So the 28-year-old version of me that you knew, by the time I'm 34, yeah, there might be some stuff I have to communicate to you in order for you to know that that has changed. Especially if you're so busy and so great and so successful and so
Hmm.
all over the place, I need to
Hmm.
communicate and vice versa.
But here's my question, though, Carrie. Are you doing a self evaluation before you communicate what you think makes sense?
I can speak for me personally.
No,
Yes,
I'm not
for me,
speaking about. I'm
the
not asking
in
you when
general.
I'm asking a question. I'm saying when I'm saying you, I'm using you in place of women in general. Can you honestly tell me, Carrie? Honestly, you ain't got a cake for these hoes. Forget them. Can you honestly tell me that you believe that women are honest about the performance inside of their relationships and marriages and they do a self evaluation and they make adjustments?
Okay, I think that a lot of them are doing the evaluation. I don't think that as many are completely honest with themselves about the assessment as they could be. Um so I will give you that. I do think that it's easy for you to anybody to evaluate themselves and make themselves out to be better than what they are. But this
Hmm?
is this is where the communication part I believe comes into play with the spouse. And this also goes into like a woman's MO. Like I've developed over the years that I don't really share a lot of what's going on with multiple people because then that's going to be a lot for me to have to filter through. A lot of times women will rely on talking to their friends, family members, or whatever, and it might drive them one way. But I think at the core, women are open to like, okay, hold on, let me think this through. All right, I'm feeling this way. I did this, he did that. Like I
Carrie,
really do.
who you selling?
I'm not
Let me, all right.
y'all
So let me ask
y'all
you a
don't think
question.
that?
Let me ask you a question. How come women don't get themselves together until after they get divorced so they can get a revenge body?
Well,
Just a question. How come they spend so much time getting a revenge body, but they never make sure that they why they look so good after the divorce? It's a
Slimmy,
realistic
why are you
question, Carrie.
laughing?
It's a realistic question, Carrie.
because because I talk to women and I know exactly what
Cause
he's
you know
talking
it's true, Slimmy.
about. Man. Oh my God, man.
That's a loaded question.
No,
Carrie,
it
I know
ain't.
you love the
No,
It
it
is
ladies.
a
You
loaded
holding
question.
it down for your ladies. I get it, Carrie. I'm rolling with you. I'm rolling with you,
Oh,
Carrie. I'm rolling with you.
woo. Oh my
The
God,
next
man.
man is always gonna get the best of her. The man that she with, mm,
Yeah, no, but women can say the same thing about men. Women
mm,
can say the same thing about men that the man
mm,
that the man that you're getting, I done went through the fire with him. I done helped cultivate stuff. I went through a bunch of stuff that you're not gonna have to go through. So women could say the same thing.
mm. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You don't even believe what you're saying right now.
Yes.
Women don't start the self-evaluation process until after the divorce is final.
That's not true.
Mm.
No, because if they was doing self evaluating, then the divorce papers probably would never get drawn up.
If she was the person that she is before, after the divorce, in the marriage, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
If what? Say that again.
If she was the person that she became in the divorce, if she was that person in the marriage and she was doing that self-evaluation, we wouldn't be having this conversation. Because see, women all the time, you can see it on all of these social media platforms. They
I
always
don't.
evaluating. They trying to figure it out. What don't men like about me? What do I have to do differently? I went on this date, all of
I
this
don't
other
know,
type of
Anton.
stuff.
I know some
Meanwhile, that
bitter
other chick,
divorced women.
meanwhile, that other chick, that frumpy one that's inside of the marriage, keep making them fucking wheat sandwiches every day and keep on making sandwiches. The bread ain't even toasted. How you gonna make a grilled cheese and it ain't even grilled? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, Keri. I'm telling you, women don't do self evaluations at all, at all. It's always gonna be his fault.